Me speaks a foreign language to my friend in a coffee shop. Karen.
This is America.
Well, good evening, laddies, lasses, and welcome to the Click You Look Dandy Finalicious today. I'm a teeny bit jealous. So today, we're gonna look at something beautiful. Have you ever worked in service or been at a restaurant and there's some white lady just having a meltdown over nothing? Today, we're gonna look at Frick YouKaren, which is God so satisfying. This video is basically just me sitting and ranting about this generalized person, which is every unpleasant individual I've ever had the displeasure of encountering. It's so satisfying! And I hope it's satisfying for you too, and that you enjoy it. If you enjoy, can I be channel? I am a child. Let's do this. The fact that some people go to a restaurant and treat the staff like shite is freaking ridiculous. You choose to go out to eat. If you feel the need to be rude while you're waiting for your food, stay the frick home and yell at your microwave. Jim Carrey. That is a beautiful quote. Salute. Cheers, good sir.
Before I cheated on him, things were amazing. After I cheated, it changed.
How was I supposed to know there'd be consequences for my actions?
I usually say that you shouldn't be too much of a stagnant, boring adult. You should be able to be childish once in a while.
But not like this. This isn't the point of it. How did your parents raise you? Oh, Stacy, you can do whatever you want and nothing bad will ever come your way. Really, Mom? Holy...
Aliens watching another episode of Show Earth.
Mask it or casket, Karen?
It's like one of those drama shows. You know the favorite character that you hate, that you just want to rag on? That's basically all of humanity. To accommodate anti-maskers, how is that a thing? It's a piece of cloth. You do the same thing when you go skiing with a balaclava, or the same thing with just a scarf in winter. Okay. To accommodate anti-maskers, we have provided this space away from everyone else where you can stare at your reflections, since apparently that's the only person you care about.
Woo!
A teen girl ejected from prom because horny dads can't stop staring. A 17-year-old girl says she was kicked out of her homeschool prom because some lecherous dads complained she was arousing impure thoughts. So it's her fault, right? You're not doing much against the stereotype like men are animals. Like it's because of people like you, idiots like that exist. Like God. Oh, idiots breed idiots! What anti-maskers thinks they look like for America.
What anti-maskers really look like, I am a whiny little garbage human that no one enjoys being around, and I'm also gonna make sure to make them sick. Not only sick of me personally, but also sick physically. Thank you. Very nice. Can we just put these people on an island somewhere and just let evolution do its job? I think that would be kind of cool. I wouldn't give a crap about anti-maskers if they only risked themselves. And the same thing goes with anti-vaxxers and all those things. It's the same thing with pretty much anything that is your choice. If you want to do something harmful that only affects yourself, I would still say it's kind of dumb, but you know, it's your body, your choice, whatever. But when it comes to anti-maskers, anti-vaxxers, all that kind of thing, your choices actually affect the wide population. And that's when it's a no-no and you deserve a little bit of spanking. The baby named Karen is predicted to go extinct in just a few years. Oh, we're making a historical impact. Does it hurt? Yes.
Go vaccinate your kid, I'll punch you again. Should we try to pass a law that makes this legal? Are you pro-life? Would you do whatever you can to protect human life? Of course. Why aren't you wearing a mask? It's a personal choice. Saving world, personal choice.
I demand absolute censorship of the K-word on Twitter. If my demands are not met, me and millions of other whammons will delete their accounts.
I see this as an absolute win. You will make Twitter 15% less garbage. So I am not complaining. Huppdi-duppdi, putting on 10 masks and running 1 kilometer in 100 Fahrenheit heat after smocking to prove masks can't suffocate you. Hubby glub glub, now you have no excuses. But you'll probably have an excuse. I have rare nose syndrome. If I apply pressure, my nose will crush the small parts that are left of my once human brain. Karen. She's literally called Karen. Okay. Karen.
Stop crying and do something about your life.
Typical baby boomer sentiment. My parents bought a house for $35,000 with 2 middle-income jobs. They were 21 years old. Today, a house is worth $650,000 thanks to 40 years of exponential inflation. If a 21-year-old today was to buy the same house with the price adjusted back down to 1970s inflation, it would only cost $120,000 in today's money. If my parents had to pay $120,000 for this house in the 70s, well, that would quite simply be ludicrous. There isn't a bank in the land that wouldn't have laughed them out of the office. To expect Gen Ys to do the same boomers did is not only ridiculous, it's just plain ignorant. Our hard work and our money simply doesn't go as far as yours did. Our money is worth a lot less than what yours was worth. Not an opinion, it's a fact. But please keep telling us how lazy we are, how stupid we are for racking up $100,000 in student loans for jobs we can't get, and how hard you had it. Honestly, it kind of varies in different parts of the world, I suppose, but it's very similar here. Housing is incredibly expensive. I don't get it. Like, when I look back at my parents, I think they started building a house when they were roughly my age, or like 1 or 2 years older. And they had the exact same education and stuff I do. And now I look at the prices now, they're like, how the fuck? How?
It's crazy how they can breathe in this but not the other. Ooh,
It's the 2 holes. It's for your nostrils. When seatbelts were first introduced in 1968, there were idiots who insisted they infringed on their freedoms and would physically cut them out of their cars. We make fun of those people now. Can you guess who'll be making fun of in 2072? Can you guess it? You have 3 choices. That's right, they're all correct. Nailed it.
To the employees at Dairy Queen on Blorp Drive, frick you! It was so hot today, and Jack was begging for an ice cream.
It doesn't bode well when you refer to your little Bobby son by their first name to make them seem more special in other people's eyes. To us, this is just an annoying kid. Okay. I'm already tearing them apart. Let's go ahead first.
I don't get paid until Tuesday, so I said no, and he started screaming. Obviously, this broke my heart.
And my ears.
So I took him to Dairy Queen. I went in and politely asked them for an ice cream, and they said no. Jack started bawling again, and I explained to them that I can't afford the ice cream, and they're making my son cry. After 5 minutes of arguing with the bitch at the cash, and my son having a meltdown, the manager told me to leave or he would call the police. I have never been more angry or embarrassed in my entire life. Do not go to this location. If you work there, frick off and die.
That's right. I'm gonna bring my tantrum-throwing toddler, who I refer to by my first name, to your store, and he's gonna scream for a solid 5 minutes, and I demand that you give me free ice cream because I'm so economically responsible I can't even pay for the ice cream I'm demanding.
if he's really sweltering and he's not just a spoiled little, just put him in the shower or something.
God, that's what I do. I sit with a little ice block in my lap when I record videos on hot days.
You can manage.
Bzz, sting. I told him as an expert in the field I strongly recommend wearing it, but he just kept bringing up his rights. You see, this is what I mean. If this was all that happened, I would be perfectly fine with. Like, oh, yeah, you don't want to wear a mask? Sure, whatever, dude, it's your funeral. But since in this case, the bees shoot out at other people too, so to say, it's nay okay.
These face masks come with a straw hole for sipping cocktails. Haha, so quirky, hip girl.
These condoms come with a hole to pee through. Karen's grandfather, who wore a gas mask in his trench for 6 days straight, watching her refuse to wear a piece of cloth for 20 minutes.
I am so disappointed.
Anti-vaxx moms has been vaccinated.
Their children. It's so freaking true. Oh my god.
This reminds me of that post that said something like,
I'm not an anti-vaxxer, but I don't believe in vaccines because of population control. Like, oh,
nothing says loving mother quite like sacrificing your own children for population control. Oh, the beauty.
oh, yes, mom of the year, mom of the whole planet.
I don't turn on my headlights because I am not a sheep. I refuse to live in fear. Everyone else should live in fear instead. Sorry. I can see just fine. I respect your choice to use your lights, so I respect my choice not to. If other drivers not see me, that's their problem. It may be a law, but it's unjust and infringes on my constitutional rights.
It's the 13th Amendment. I'm allowed to crash thy car.
I have a medical exemption, and you are not allowed to ask me about that. I am a member of the Freedom to Drive in the Dark Committee.
Whenever you put the Karen attitude in a different context, you realize how incredibly ridiculous this is. But these people still exist. I don't understand how evolution hasn't just, like, vamooshed these, like, Karen genes. It's amazing.
When church is over and you're heading your way to verbally assault the waitress.
That is the most unlikable smile I think I've ever seen in my life. Jesus Christ. And it's probably just a stock photo. The woman is probably completely innocent, but it just represents that, you know, when the waiter forgets one sauce packet. When her kids wreck the restaurant. Haha, teehee, it's my little angle. They're so quirky.
Ah, here's the game my son wants. I'm going to ignore these stickers saying it's for adults and become outraged when I see adult content.
Karen.
If you don't study, you'll end up like him.
The construction worker who makes 3 times her salary. We did it. We teleported. But to where? Let me ask that lady over there. Hey, where are we, ma'am?
Take that mask off and go back to your country.
We are in America. America! Karen.
People need to stop calling me a Karen. It's so offensive.
Me. That's fine. We'll go back to what we used to call you. Karen.
Thanks.
Me. You're welcome. It's just like a censored, instead of calling you something really bad, like a C-word or a little frick or a pile of poo-poo, it's like this is the collective comedic term we have chosen. Be grateful, the alternatives are worse.
To the individual who stole the bike previously here, if you have a shred of decency, you will return it with a new lock and reevaluate your life choices.
Hey, bozo, it's illegal to lock your bike in a handicap hole. Check with the city for your bike. They probably removed it so it would not block a wheelchair-accessible van.
Why are people like this allowed to anything?
A passenger, why should I have to wear a mask if yours work? Driver, good point, turns off headlights. What are you doing? It's dark. Chill. The other cars have them on. Feel safe now, don't you? Bish.
Are you serious? So after leaving the drive-thru today, I took my sandwich out of the bag and we see this! Seriously? Oh no, not today. Not today. I went back to the restaurant, went inside, already fuming, asking to speak to the manager, then threw the sandwich on the counter. Splat! I asked him for an explanation. He looked confused. So I pointed to the writing on the sandwich and demanded that he tells me why someone felt the need to write it on my sandwich. He answered,
because you ordered a BLT with cheese?
To which I replied, oh, I have seen sanitizers say it kills 99.9% of germs and viruses. Lysol makes the claim. And soap and water kills and prevent transmission, so why vaccinate?
COVID-19 is airborne. You can't fill your lungs with hand sanitizer.
Okay, using your own logic, you cannot fill your lungs with vaccines either, can you? They don't inject anything in your lungs, do they? So an injection in the arm is gonna save you from airborne particles?
How can someone be so relieved of IQ and still be so like, haha, gotcha about it? The Spectator. Karen jokes aren't funny anymore. Nice try, Karen. Nice try. Should schools have a mental health class? A class where you learn about depression, anxiety, suicide, distress, eating disorders, social pressure, ADHD, dyslexia, self-harm, bipolar disorder, psychosis, way to cope, and where to find support and help. Honestly, that would be such a good idea. I wish we had that in school. It would have saved so many kids I know from so many troubles or trying to figure out where to reach out on their own because nobody ever guided them.
No, they should have a Bible study class.
That was my last piece of my brain escaping my body, thank you. Freedom of speech isn't freedom from repercussions. That's why everyone who works retail doesn't tell you to go f*** yourself. That's like the best way I've seen someone put it. The amount of times I think anyone is annoyed in life or would like to lash out if they just, unleashed all of their holdy backy energy, the world will be a very ugly place. Most of the time when you're having a bad day, for example, you don't need to lash out at people. You can kind of just be a bit more quiet. Don't like put your problems on anyone else. And the same thing goes here. The reason why people don't like call you out on your BS is because you're a paying customer, which I also hope that in the future, like companies and restaurants become less tolerant of garbage customers. Just because they paid $5 for a milkshake doesn't mean that they're an invaluable, all-knowing person. Like, no, if they're treating your employees like garbage, throw them out. Tried my new mask argument with a taxi driver. Wasn't wearing one and was angry about mine. I like the anonymity, I said. We're the most surveilled country on earth. They're listening to us through our phones and to sell us stuff. I don't want to be watched. Put his mask on, out crazied. It's like what people say. Oh, you believe in the moon landing? Pfft, you believe in the moon. The moon is flat, by the way. Just heard an American woman angrily tell an airport employee,
if you don't speak English, then why are you working here?
Ma'am, you're in Shanghai, China. Ma'am, why don't you speak Chinese? Did you know? A woman donated her kidney to save the life of her boss, who then fired her when she took too long to recover. That is so sad.
No, but it's the business choice, you know? Gotta separate the personal from business, and they weren't performing on the business even though they were a great person, so we gotta make a business choice.
Karen.
It's a free country, I don't have to wear a mask.
Cashier. It's a free country, I don't have to serve you. Those are the most passive-aggressive smiles I've ever seen in my life. Karens will complain about people playing their music too loud, then proceed to play Candy Crush on full volume in a waiting room. Yeah, that's... Yes. Mask required. If you're standing either inside or on the patio, please wear a mask. Once seated, drinking or eating, we do not require you to wear a mask. If you cannot wear a mask due to a medical condition, ask yourself if you should really be going to a bar/restaurant during a pandemic. If you are making up a medical condition to avoid wearing a mask, please don't. None of us have the patience to deal with your crap. It's kind of a weird thing, isn't it? I mean, for example, the recent virusy has been known to affect breathing, for example. I myself, after I had the misfortune of having it, has had some problems with, for example, stamina when I run or go by bike. Not like crucial, but it's noticeably worse. If you really have problems with breathing so you can't have a mask, this thing would like literally freaking kill you. Why? Why is that like an excuse? You shouldn't be out. Stats Canada report not one baby has been named Karen since November 13th, 2019. Karen seeing a black man break into his own house through the front door using a house key. Call the police! Oh my god, this outrageousness! I am just a good neighborhood Samaritan. My friend is hiring for his company, and this resume came in. Military spouse. She's dead serious lemau gtfh. Branch, U.S. Navy. Service country, United States. Rank, military spouse.
I am serving my country in somehow.
Oh, little donkey. This picture from World War II, a soldier carrying a donkey. It is not that a soldier loves donkeys or has some sort of perversion. What's happening is that the field is mined, and that if the donkey was free to wander as it pleased, it would likely detonate a charge and kill everyone. The moral of the story is that during difficult times, the first one you have to keep under control are the jackasses who don't understand the danger, and they do as they please. History is just kind of like repeating itself. But instead of explodies, it's the slimy snotties. Did you know that if a restaurant messes up your order, you can simply say, "Oh, actually, I had blank," instead of screaming at the 16-year-old employee, and they will still fix it for you. That's the thing in life. There's so few instances where you actually have to get mad or raise your voice. I can't remember the last time I raised my voice due to like a problem or a conflict. I mean, apart from the video where I complained about YouTube strikes and I yelled a bit for comedic effect, but you know, apart from that. Sure, I spent 50 years of my life studying viruses just so I could trick rednecks into wearing a paper mask. That was my career goal! Got him! My life ambitions are coming true. Yeah, like what would be the end goal? Would it just be to like slowly implement ridiculous thing for the population to do so that you can like
control them? Oh my god, them asking me to wear a piece of cloth is like the first step towards brainwashing control, and it's like literally Hitler.
What was your best "you're speaking to the manager right now" moment? A friend of mine, she was getting chewed out over something or other. Finally, the woman loudly demanded to see the manager, so she shrugged and got the manager. Manager comes out all confused. Angry one demands my friends get fired. Manager's very confused. But ma'am, I can't do that. She is the owner. If you have a solid 10 minutes to absorb this, I present a very real status shared in a wedding shaming group I'm a part of. This is a long story, but it's incredibly good. I'm gonna read this whole thing uninterrupted. Please grab some popcorn, and I do hope you enjoy it. Dear friends, it comes with a great sadness that I'm announcing the cancellation of the Blorp wedding. Apologies for cancelling only 4 days beforehand. Unfortunately, Blorp and I have broken up due to some recent and irreputable moments. We have decided to end our relationship and not go forth with any future proceedings. However, we are remaining civil and are still a team for our son, Wu. After hours of tears, mental exhaustion, and after disassociation, I have come to this decision. In 1 hour after posting this status, I am going to delete my Facebook. Social media has cost me only paranoia and toxicity. I will be spending these next 2 months backpacking in South America, still being there for my son. Exploring my soul and ridding myself of toxic energy brought on by my friends and family. The only ones who I thought could trust the most. Hence, I will be out of the country for all October and November. Please don't contact me. When I am ready, I may make new Facebook and add friends, family that still haven't freaking stabbed me in the back. How did all this come crashing down? Well, I invite you all on Facebook, players, bystanders, and side characters of all the people in my life, to take a seat and listen. You're all involved somehow. Somehow, everyone to my wedding, I don't care. You might fear of the drama, and I'd rather you hear it from me. I'm not asking for sympathy. I just want to tell my story. Before I begin with this mini novel, I invite you to, including the C-words who have ruined my marriage and life, to put yourself in my shoes. For once, let me take the stage and let me voice the most painful few months of my life. When someone say, for once take a stage, they probably usually have the stage. First, things were a fairy tale. I met the love of my life at 14. We were both young and somehow we just knew that we were meant to be. We worked on my family's farm together, and with each warm summer spent in the fields, our love grew deeper and deeper. Fast forward to high school, we went strong 4 years. He put a ring on my finger when I was 18, worth nearly $5,000. We put everything on the line for each other. Everything. We both chose to attend the same community college and work full-time in order to build our dream. We spent most of our days by each other's side. I will always be thankful for that. Fast forward a few years, I was 20. I realized I was pregnant with my first. We were elated, tearful, and thankful to God for this gift. After giving birth to Desolin, I knew the next step would be to focus my career and become financially stable. My ex did the same. We saved and saved. I was in love. I was happy. I was looking forward to life. We continued working and even got a degree. It was hard, yes, but so blissfully worth it. We still managed to save up nearly $15,000 for our wedding. Since our love was like a fairy tale, we wanted an extravagant blowout wedding out to where our son could be included. We started touring venues and were torn between two. A local psychic told us to go with the more expensive option, and we thought, why the heck not? We just needed a little push. Our dream wedding amounted to $60,000, all included with flights to Aruba, and all we asked was a little help from our friends and family to make it happen. A little help. I specifically asked for cash gifts. How could we have our wedding that we dreamed about without proper funding? We'd sacrificed so much, and I only asked each guest for around $1,500. We talked to a few people who even promised us more to make our dream come true. My maid of honor, who shall not be named, pledged $5,000 along with their planning services. We tearfully thanked and accepted. My ex's family offered and contributed $3,000, so a request for $1,500 for all other guests was not freaking out of the ordinary. Like, we made it clear. If you couldn't contribute, you weren't invited to our exclusive wedding. It's a once-in-a-lifetime party. So we sent out our RSVPs, and only 8 people replied and sent us the check. We were frickin' livid. How was this supposed to happen without so much help from our friends? To make matters worse, my ex's family took back their offer. Suddenly, more people backed out, including the little maid of honor, my best friend since childhood, my second family. I was so shocked and tearful. To make matters worse, it was only a month before the wedding. To cancel everything. To cancel everything would have been more than $5,000. Desperately, we resent our invites and asked people to donate what they could. I mean, seriously, people. What is $1,000? What is $1,500? Clearly not a lot. It would be quite manageable and within budget. I've heard of people asking for worse. We also set up a GoFundMe. That only got us $250. At this point, we were exhausted, tired. I yelled at my ex. I became unraveled. I realized my dream wedding was becoming a nightmare. Then, it got worse. My ex came into the room and offered to get Vega's wedding done. I laughed in his face, but he was dead serious. He wanted those cheap, raggedy, filthy like Vegas weddings. I mean, what the frick? Was he out of his mind? Am I some hooch piece of freaking trash? Ochre? Am I supposed to like the idea of getting married in the heart of shady gamblers, alcoholic, and the get rich fast fallacy? Suddenly, my body began to shake as I entered a panic attack. My ex left the room and didn't apologize for his horrid suggestion. I then called my maid of honor and cried my eyes out. Instead of sympathy, I was told I was asking for way too much and I should stick to my budget. I mean, no words can describe. How could someone have offered me thousands of dollars, then deny me my promised money, and then tell me to shift down my budget? She knows my freaking dream was a blowout wedding. I just wanted to be a Kardashian for a day and then live my life like normal. I called it a filthy freaking poor excuse of a friend and hung up broke. Then she blocked me off of all social media. Rumors swirled. I received anonymous threats. My ex stayed out later and later and had a feeling he cheated. My bridesmaids climbed on the boat with my maid of honor and dissed me. They essentially told me I was crazy. They asked for the deposit back, so I said, frick you. I refused to give back until they pay me back for their emotional distress. My ex started talking to my maid of honor and gossip about me behind my back. I overheard him talking in the basement when he called me a stuck-up bitch. I need to get out from this awful society. How hard would it have been to not freaking donate friends? Do I matter to you? Just freaking give me money for my wedding. I won't even sugarcoat. I won't even pretend that it's not what I wanted. It was for a dream. I was stabbed, cheated on, and wrecked. Goodbye. See you in 2 months. Friendly reminder to you C-words. Don't think you can own me. I am cutting all you snakes off. I am living my life alone now. I only let in those I believe have good intentions. XOXOXO. I have no words. You're out of your mind, Susan.
What happened to you? Who on heck expects that amount of money?
Guys, I'm in tears.
This is insane.
Like the entitlement is through the roof. A GOP state senator made to sit in a plexiglass box after refusing to mask up.
May I ask why you chose K for your daughter's middle name? That was also my daughter's middle name.
That's my mom's middle name.
Ah,
Yeah, lol.
I was just wondering because nobody started naming their daughter's middle name K until after Kenzie was born.
I don't even know you or your daughter.
Yeah, thumbs up. I'm such a trend starter mom. What can I say?
Adult Swim may contain absurd material some Karens might not find suitable. Using the only fan in a crowded, warm waiting room to cool off your hotbox.
Room probably smells like a warm turtle tank.
A Karen with common sense. Thanks, Karen. Hashtag Karen is not a slur. It's a stereotype white women earned by racing monsters, voting for monsters, and behaving like monsters. Our behavior is so atrocious that everyone except us, that our own children are making memes and videos mocking us. Insider! Ellen DeGeneres reportedly once called Steve Jobs to complain about her iPhone. She just lives in an incredibly privileged bubble. That didn't age well. I saw kids die daily from measles in Kenya. I saw a woman carry her child 30 miles on her back to get him vaccinated. First world parents that don't vaccinate are spoiled fools. I mean, yes. A lady just sat down and first thing out of her mouth was,
I'll get a water, no ice, because I doubt you're following COVID regulations with your ice.
and it was in that moment I realized Karens have been reloaded with a whole new set of ammunition. Oh my god, they're using what they used to complain about against us. Oh crap, they have developed new weapons. This is a standard vaccine composition. Which of these chemicals do you object to having in your body? Ethanol, propane, blah 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 blah. Oh, that's a lot of chemicals.
All of them!
Really? Because I have just given you the chemical composition of an apple, which is living testimony to the fact that anti-vaxxers aren't qualified to know what they're afraid of. I mean, yeah, I don't even know what half of these stuff means. If you're not a chemist, why speak out on chemicals? Chemicals have gotten this weird, bad rep among Karens and anti-vaxxers. Oh, chemicals are bad. It's like saying when something is organic, if you don't specify it, organic just means that it's carbon-based. Same thing with chemicals. It's such a broad definition. It doesn't mean anything. Yesterday,
why should I study science, biology, physics? It is useless. I will never use it. I will not be a scientist.
Today,
5G gives cancer. Vaccines have mind control chips for the new world. Or the earth is flat. I saw it on YouTube.
no, the moon is flat. Get it right. If you look into the sky, it's a disk. It's flat. Just don't at me. Upland is not responsible for bugs that may have made their way into your beer or food during to sitting outside.
How many Karens had to complain until they put up this sign?
Today in New Zealand, our kids can go back to school because we have a compassionate government and we listen to science.
Woohoo!
This is the biggest flex of 2020, to be honest.
Ban the All Grass Beer Festival. Do your part in the citizen of Global to counteract the glamorization of alcoholism by not going to the beer festival. Golden is a family-oriented town and will not be introduced to alcohol/marijuana activities or events that promote them. Keep alcohol/drug activities and their associated people out of Golden to keep our families safe.
Christian mom moves to this town with the largest brewery in the world. Residents likes to drink beer. Christian mom,
What? Oh my god, unexpected twist.
1346. I will wear this bad bird mask all day and stuff it full of herbs so I don't smell the rotting corpses lining the streets. 2020.
Tiny Klaus face mask evil.
I had a really unfortunate encounter with a mother today who was adamant C-sections were bad somehow, and she goes,
It's not a real delivery.
and I'm so sorry to the collective whole society because all I could think was to say, well, what the frick is it, Auntie Junior?
Honestly, random woman in the street. I'm so sorry my child wasn't birthed the correct way.
Anyway, thank you all so much for watching this video. You look beautiful and you smell beautiful. I hope to catch you in the next video and have an awesome rest of your day. Take care.